I'm Nick Pomeroy with PR Equipment here in Kearns, Texas. Hey guys, it's May here in Texas. It's getting hot, and it looks like it could be a hot summer. So I want to talk to you about a few things we need to be checking on these tractors, especially the Global Series, our 4700, 5700, 6700 series tractors, to make sure your air conditioner is performing at its peak performance. So there's obviously a few components when it comes to air conditioning. We have a condenser here, we have an evaporator in the roof. Obviously there's a blower motor, there's a lot of components that go into these things. And so we need to be making sure that all of our components are going to be performing at their max efficiency. So to start off with, just at the front of the tractor, and this needs to be part of your routine maintenance, is the condenser. It needs to be clean. And they've provided us with this clean out screen to hopefully catch most of the grass. We need a lot of airflow across it to really keep that coolant or the refrigerant cool. We need to cool it back down after it leaves the compressor. So this has to be very, very clean. And there are situations where fine stuff will get past this screen, and we may have to clean out the condenser itself from time to time. So we need to make sure those are clean. And while we're talking about that, we really need to mention the fact that, you know, the higher the engine RPMs, the more cooling air that's going to come across the condenser, and the lower that temperature that air is going to be in the cab. And I should have mentioned this before, guys, loader safety. Do not climb under the loader. Do not go under the loader when you're walking around. I know you've probably done it 100 times, but guys, be safe when you're working around these tractors. So when I'm doing this, I'm standing off to the side, so if that loader were to come down, it's not gonna hurt me. But be careful when you guys are working around tractors and underneath anything that's hydraulic. But so there is a clean out screen, and we need to make sure that that's clean, and that's a great time to also check your air filter and make sure it's clean. So walking around here, so the one other thing I'd like to suggest, if you guys are out working in the fields and whatnot, when we switch from winter to summer, we need to be looking at shutting off our heater valves. And I know what you're thinking, you're shutting it off up in the dash. But what we found on some of these is even when you have it turned all the way to AC, every once in a while we'll still get a little bypass from the heater core, which just keeps our vent tip from getting as low as it should get. So Massey provides us with an external shutoff valve, which is right in here. And so this is in the off position. And so that little red handle, it's down by the exhaust, so make sure we do it before we get the tractor real hot, or be careful so you don't burn yourself. But by shutting that off, we guarantee that no coolant is going to be, or no heated coolant is going to be running through the roof or the heater core, which is going to prevent you from, which is going to keep that air temperature just as cool as it possibly can. So moving around to the back, now before I jump into this, there's a couple things we should note. This is your air filter for the cab. Now, if you purchased your tractor from us or a few other dealers, there is a chance that some modifications have been made in order to make your air conditioner to perform better, which is basically to provide more recirculated air. So there's a chance your filter may not be installed like this anymore. You can kind of tell that by looking up in here, and if you see an orange slit, you can see that that's the air filter. If the air filter's still in, we need to pull it out from time to time and check to make sure it's clean. If you don't see the orange, just leave it up in there because it's probably already sealed off. So check your air filter, make sure it's clean. Obviously this is a brand new one, so it's clean. You can tap these out a few times and they do get dirty pretty fast. So if you notice the amount of air coming through your air conditioner is beginning to slow down, there's a good chance maybe that's got dirty. And if these get too dirty, dirt will get past here and get into the evaporator and plug it up. So in that situation, if you got a situation where you don't have much air coming out your vents and this is clean, you may need to come in on the top and look and see if your evaporator is getting dirty. But for us, it's a brand new air filter, it's clean, it's great. After a few times of cleaning this, you probably need to replace it. But that's also something we need to be watching out for, just to make sure that our air filter is as clean as possible. And then a couple things in the cab. This back vent there's a back vent here. That's your recirculation vent. That's where it's sucking all the cab air back through. And we want it to suck as much air back through there as possible because it's easier to cool air rather than suck it all from the external side. And so there are some modifications and things that can be done. And they may have already been done to your tractor. If you bought it from PR Equipment, there's a good chance we've already made a couple modifications to improve the air conditioner performance. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is guys, be checking these things to make sure your air conditioner is going to perform at its highest level for you this year as it starts to warm up. Thanks.